guys, so first times. There's a first time for everything, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to suddenly vlog all about my first kiss or anything like that, because that is just gross and nobody needs that. I'm going to talk about the real stuff. First time I ever went on a log flume was at this park in Cornwall called Flambards. Now, they've got a log flume there, and it's not a very tall log flume, it's got to be said, maybe not even the height of two houses. What happened is, there's a bench inside the... If you don't know what a log flume is, basically, it's a log-shaped boat with seats in, and it takes you up a steep thing and drops you down at a water flume. And you get soaking wet at the end. Well, basically what happened was, these ones at Flambards, they have a bench that runs through the middle of the boat. And you hold onto bars at the side. And I did that, and as it tipped over the top, it almost tipped me out of the boat. It was flipping scary. I have never been on one since. First time I ever went to a gig was at Southampton Guildhall, and it was to see the band Wheatus, you know, Teenage Dirtbag and all that. I was 14 years old, and I had no experience of what to do at all. There were loads of students there, and as the sport bands were playing, me and my friend got pushed further and further back. It didn't seem to stop her though. She was the loudest person in the room. There was a quiet period between songs, and she yelled at... I don't know if you know much about Wheatus, but there's this one song that's got the line, something about what's under his kilt. And he was wearing a kilt on stage, so she yelled out, "What have you got under your kilt?" And he showed everybody. Luckily it was burgundy boxers. The first time I ever got behind the wheel of a car was when I was 17, and it was with my driving instructor. And he, I think he was terrified, because I was doing country lanes just to get used to the feel of driving a car. And we were going along, and I was going way too fast, and I also couldn't keep it straight on the road. He kept having to readjust the steering wheel for me. When I got out when I got home, I was actually shaking. I had jelly legs because I was so excited that I'd just driven this car. Oh my god, it was amazing. But yeah, don't worry, my driving is way better now. My first trip to the cinema was to see Casper the Friendly Ghost, and all I remember really is it going really, really dark. Of course I remember the film, and just eating fruitellas all the way through. Good times. First time on an aeroplane, okay, I was around 20 years old or something, and I was flying from Bournemouth on Ryanair to Dublin. I was so excited I would not stop looking out of the plane. Now, the person I was with at the time, my ex, he was terrified of flying. I had absolutely no idea because I didn't look at him for the entire flight. It was only on the way back that I realised. But it was just so much fun. I loved it. First time meeting Fearless Vampire Killers and Luke Lucas from The Dead Lay Waiting. It was the 14th of October 2012. Now, I'd seen them live before, I just hadn't had the courage or the time to go up and meet them before. But I made an effort this time. So the night before I'd seen the Green Day musical in Southampton, so I just decided, sod it, I'll stay over and just, you know, spend the weekend in Southampton, even though it's pretty much just up the road from where I live. I was so nervous the day before meeting them that I did not eat. I think I had one slice of pizza the entire day. My fiancé was, well, he was my boyfriend at the time. He's proposed since. You see, he's been through all this with me, he's still with me. But I was so nervous, I didn't eat. I was an absolute wreck. It was pathetic. And I was really surprised that Laurence and Luke Lucas and Drew all knew me from Twitter and Tumblr. I mean, looking back on it now, I find it hilarious because I think, well, why wouldn't they? I was like messaging them all the time. It was like, of course they're going to know who I was. It was just ridiculous. But yeah, I was just so nervous. But I'm kind of used to it now. Now I see them all the time. So those are some of my first times doing certain things in my life. So what sort of things have you done, and how did it make you feel when you were doing them? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you slightly indifferent? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.